Hey everybody, this is Saber. I'm starting a new build and I kind of wanted to go ahead and film this and take you guys along for the ride, you know, from start to finish, well, mostly start to finish, so you can kind of see how I do things, my process for building. Now, you can see here there's kind of some similarities between these two, and that's because this over here is going to be the tug's bigger brother. That the tug lifts a fair amount, but not quite enough for what I want it to be able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger, make the docking bigger, give it more power, just an all-over upgrade. So I kind of wanted to walk you guys through this with me. So basically, to start off, I've already got it framed up, obviously, but I actually made some sketches of this one, which I don't usually do, but with this, it needs to be specific enough. I mean, it needs to have like a certain amount of lift, a certain amount of docking size, whatever. And so I went ahead and sketched it out to make sure that I could get as much power as I can in the smallest amount of space that I can. And so I sketched it out, and what I made looks like, from the front end, it looks like a turtle. So I'll probably end up calling this thing the turtle or the tortoise or something. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then I'll probably just speed this clip up because it's going to take a while, and then I'll probably just jump in every once in a while and give a little commentary on it. Alright, let's get building. So I'm recording this after the fact, but my build got a little delayed because almost as soon as I got done talking to you guys and recording, these guys decided to show up and just knock all of my stuff around, as you'll see right there, which I kind of freaked out at first, but it didn't go too far. So I let my turrets take care of these guys, and then I jumped right back to building. Alright, so I've got it all framed up. Well, not all framed up, but the general design of it. These right here are actually going to be downward thrusters, kind of like these are on the smaller one, but those ones were more of a failure. So those are going to be the landing gear as well as thrusters. So those will be all along the side here. I haven't quite figured out how many I'll end up having. I'm just going to start throwing them in and see how many I get. But, oh, here's a little bit of damage from the pirates. Alright, so yeah, I've got it all framed up. One thing when you're doing a build is don't be afraid to start over, because originally with this build I had started with the cockpit and I'd kind of made it like that one, only bigger, but then I got the dimensions of the top, the actual docking deck, and it just looked silly. So if you've already got something made, don't be afraid to start over again, because chances are you're going to do it a lot faster the second time and it's just going to turn out a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't think I'll start. I'm going to go ahead and probably frame all of the legs and boosters up, and then I'll probably start filling in the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll catch you on the flip side. Alright guys, so I wanted to share something I just found out. Now I'm putting engines over here in the sides, and I had planned on that all along, but I didn't know quite what pattern to do. But I just found something out, and apparently I've been doing engines all wrong. Like, most of the inside of that one is just blocks and blocks of different things. Now obviously I've got the power generator set up right, but then the engines I just lumped together in one big block and connected as much as I could. But then check this out. So I've got each of these is diagonal, so it's not connected to each other, and my current thrust is 4,120. But then check out if I start adding, like if I was going to do a big block, which I wasn't planning on doing, but if I was going to do a big block, then see it's actually dropping. See, it's with each block that I place, it drops further and further, which is pretty surprising, because like I said, I had thought that a big block of them was better than not. But it turns out, or at least as far as I can tell, it needs to be more of like unique blocks. Now I thought this was going to be, after I just found this out, like power generators, or if I removed one, then if I did that, it would be better. But then I'm thinking, at least with this design, what I'm going to do is I'll just honeycomb this whole inside. Like every other block will be a strip just going down most of the length, if not the whole way. And that should really increase it. Now, the thrust on the old tug was 3,320, and that's with everything just all blocked in. So I'm already fairly far beyond that at 4,000 something. So the amount of weight that I'll be able to lift is just going to be insane, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and fix all of this. Maybe fill this in with honeycomb, and then like down most of the length, and then I'll get back to you when I'm getting ready to start on this. Okay guys, so I got the engines all placed in the sides, and I've still got a lot of work to do on the whole interior area here, but I wanted to go ahead and take this opportunity to do the top while it's pretty clear and there's not a bunch of other blocks in the way. So I'm kind of going to walk you through how I did, or how I'm going to do the docking enhancers, and I'm basically going to do roughly the same thing as I did on this one, and it's going to be 2 up here instead of just 1. So I'm going to have 1 back here, and then I'm going to have this one up here. But one of the things that you don't need to do is you don't need to make it like a cross. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, like there and then also that way. Instead, you can start at a corner, which is what I usually do. And so right here, I'll go ahead and place down this whole row here, and then you'll see it just expands way out on its own. Now, I've got to take off remove mode. Okay. So there you can see it's twice as wide as the enhancers that I used, just spread out across that length. And I'm working on a formula. Excuse me, I got something in my throat today. I'm working on a formula to try and figure out the total size that you'll be able to do based on the number of enhancers you have, which I think I've got down, but then I want to double check it sorry, with this ship actually. So I'll be trying to max this thing out basically. I'm going to try and see how much weight it'll handle, which means I'm going to need a big ship to test it on, and then how large of a ship I can handle. And I tried that earlier with the tug, but it was just a block, like just a bunch of blocks, just a giant block of other blocks just to do the weight. And that's how I figured out its total lift capacity, which is kind of helping me to figure out, you know, how much I'll be able to lift with this one. So just to make this faster, I'm going to add symmetry. And don't freak out, but when I start adding these, because it's adding them at both ends, it's going to go really narrow. Like, it's not going to be nearly as wide, it's just going to go to the default width. But once I connect them back up again, then, yeah, see, just like that. Then once they get connected, they'll be right back to where it was. Right there, see? Now, another thing you can do is, because these work kind of like generators, as far as, you know, that you only have to have 3 axes, obviously that's too short. So what I'm planning on doing is taking off symmetry, and then what I'm going to do is, and I actually don't know, I'm pretty sure it has to be connected, so I'll go ahead and remove these, and then I'll have the front wall here of the interior. So I'm going to go ahead and connect down here. I missed. Wow, okay. And then see, just to add height, I'll just drag it down to the interior. See, that keeps adding. I don't know, here I'm going to do a quick check to see if it works. So no, that doesn't work. Alright. Okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, then this will be pretty tall. And then the thing I like about doing a design like this is that I can expand onto it. So let's say that I had a ship that was, for some reason, way too tall for this to fit in. Then what I could do is go down, oops, actually basically do that. You know, you come in and then you could always mark it with like a different color block or something where the enhancers are. And then you can just add on to it depending on the size of your ship. Oops. Wow, I'm missing all over the place. Okay. Yeah, see, so you could do that if you had to. Or, you know, same thing with length or width. So that's roughly how I do that. And because I only used one corner of that, because, you know, it starts off here, then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to have a second one back here of almost exactly the same size, and that'll just take up that corner down there. So I'll go ahead and I'll make those, and then Probably pop in some more around the edges like this one does, only they'll be able to be a lot bigger. And then I will catch you guys then. Alright, thanks.